He's fucked. These guys hate my guts. We're going to do it anyway. Ready? Yeah, kid. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer Podcast under construction. My name's Charles, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, formerly the Captain Permit. You ready for this?
Yeah, I think so.
It's go time. If you have a house that smells like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, you know. You want
to buy it.
I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. If you have a commercial property, say it.
You want to buy it?
Yeah. If you have non-performing notes or land, Greg in the cheap seats.
Yeah.
What do I want to do?
Buy it?
Yeah, I want to buy it. Obviously, if you have any kind of permit issues, we got permit issues going on behind us. You want to call the captain, 516-513-8838. Beautiful thing. Just sold Captain Permit to Mike Arado, the COO, and my brother-in-law, Ryan Griffin. Best hair to beard ratio in the business. They're upstairs now doing an amazing job cranking out permits, growing the business. It was grown 15 to 20% year over year for the last 4 years. So proud of those guys. Please support them, and thank you very much for supporting me with Captain Permit over the last 4 years. And last but not least, there's a lot of fluff at the beginning of this, huh?
I like it.
This podcast and every other podcast is sponsored by Cardinal Financial, a.k.a. Sal Rizzolo, the man, the myth, the lending legend. If you're a realtor, you need to know him. If you're a buyer, you need to know him. If you're an investor, you need to know him because he screens all my deals to make sure that they actually close. Because nothing is worse than a deal that doesn't close after being under contract for 90 days, right?
Nothing.
Can I get an amen into that?
Amen, brother.
Hallelujah. All right, so the top 20 under 40 train continues. We'll be doing the horn. Do it. Sound it off. You're on the top 20 under 40 train.
Sound it off?
Yeah, sound it off. You know?
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Toot-toot.
Toot-toot.
Everybody has their own interpretation of it, right? But we're on the train, and amazing group of people, bro. I got to tell you, you are an amazing company. I'm very excited about this because based on, obviously we don't know each other. I charismatically stalked you off of Instagram and that poster with all the little bubbles with the faces on it.
It was nice. It felt good.
Yeah? All right,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I didn't come across as creepy at all, right?
No, that's the most impressive professional DM slide I've ever seen.
Nice.
So, you got that going.
I appreciate that. All right. It feels good. I'm doing something right. So very excited to hear about this. You are in the commercial and residential space, which is dope because I haven't had anybody on here who's really doing it both. Like, you're doing commercial deals and you won top 20 under 40 in the residential space. So you're basically the Bo Jackson. How many sports did Bo Jackson play? 2 or 3? He did football and baseball. That was it, right? He wasn't like one of those 3 sport guys, right? Fuck. Do you know who Bo Jackson is?
Horseman?
Do you know who Bo Jackson is?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you?
35.
That's why.
Well, they're both 25, 26.
Dude, Bo knows diddly, Bo, the sneakers.
No.
Just keep this. Let me tell you something. This week has just been going from bad to worse.
The gap from 35 to 25 is like decades. I understand it's not, but it feels like it.
For those of you who are under the age of 30, right?
Yeah, it's fair.
Listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, Bo Jackson was an athlete who played both football and baseball. He played 2 sports at the same time. That's you. You were the Bo Jackson of real estate. How do you feel about that?
That's some pretty good company, I'd say.
Who else played 2 sports?
Deion Sanders, but he didn't really.
Oh, Neon Deion?
You know,
Yeah. He played what? He played
Jordan
baseball.
Tried to.
Yeah,
like,
but not at the same time.
No.
No, yeah, you're doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
You're wearing 2 hats. You got the emotional hat on and like the rational numbers hat on.
Yes.
You are every.
Sometimes you would think one is one and one is the other.
Yeah.
Always. Sometimes they flip flop.
I feel like based on that, you are every woman's perfect man. Can you cook?
Actually, I do cook.
Do you clean?
I do clean.
Fucking A. See? I knew that.
My wife may say otherwise, but
She's not here, so I'm taking your word for it. Do you see how the intuition comes in there?
yeah.
Who would know?
Yeah.
Damn. I love it.
I'm
All
sure
right.
she'll watch this, so.
So everybody needs to know who you are, so you have to tell everybody who you are. So Robert Lorenzo,
Yep.
out of Compass, top 20 under 40 again. Congratulations. Give it here.
Thank
Boom.
you.
In real estate for 3 years. Started in 2019 as a strictly commercial guy.
Yes.
Transitioned to a 2-sport player in 2020. And in the last, we can't even say 2 years because it's not, like the last year and a half, won the top 20 under 40.
Yep.
Actually, you're the fucking man, dude. Because the commercial, just so everybody knows, the commercial has nothing to do with his top 20 under 40. So even though he could be selling multi-million-dollar warehouse buildings or whatever it is that you sell in the commercial space, that does not in any way impact the sales for your top 20 under 40.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, so you're slinging houses, you're slinging anything.
Anything that moves. I joked if I can't lift it, I'll try and sell it. But obviously that's a lot of things.
If you can't lift it, you'll sell it. Yeah, I'm with it. If it can't be moved,
Yeah.
if
By me and two buddies, if it can't be moved.
I usually
I'll
say
try and sell it.
if God created it, I want to buy it, but I don't think that just applies to just land anymore. No, yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Yeah, when I said it before, it didn't make sense either, right? All right, so let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, top 20 under 40. We got to talk about the commercial shits first because that's crazy. So you got into commercial. Why did you first get into commercial instead of residential?
So kind of exactly what you touched on. I'd always kind of imagined residential was super emotional because I myself had gone through purchases and sales, and it was emotional for me. And I knew how needy I was when I was doing it. Before real estate, I worked in finance for 11 years. So.
You're a very honest person, aren't you?
Yeah, I try to be.
You're very in touch with who you are, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm just feeling this. I'm just rolling with this. Just
Yeah.
based on the stuff that you're telling me, I feel like here's a guy he's an honest guy. He's in touch with who he is. He knows what he's good at. He knows what he's not good at. It's good. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I like transparency.
Nice.
That's kind of how I kind of try and do deals with clients is that giving you the full kind of rundown of what's going to happen in this deal as soon as we get to the point of making offers on stuff. You should, any client that I currently have that's either submitting offers, has accepted offer in contract, if you called them up, they'd probably be able to tell you how the rest of the transaction is going to go because I kind of beat it into their hands.
So, what'd you go to college for? Did you go to college?
Yeah.
What'd you go to college for?
I went to Fairfield U. I double majored in finance and information technology.
Double major in finance and information technology. Okay, makes sense.
While throughout college, I interned for a company that I ended up going to work for. Interned there from, I guess, 19.
Wow.
Throughout the summers, I worked there after school. And I kind of always was really interested in real estate. And the opportunity kind of presented itself right after I got married. We were actually leaving our honeymoon, and it was the biggest chunk of time I'd ever taken.
Where was the honeymoon?
Off. We took a little bit of a longer honeymoon.
I feel like you're a Hawaii guy.
It's funny. We got married on New Year's Eve, and
If I get this,
we were going to go to Hawaii, and then I looked at all the pricing and everything, and the room, we were looking at beautiful rooms, and the room that was normally $1,500 a night was like $3,500 a night because there's a PGA Tour event there the first week of the year. So I was like, we're not spending.
I get partial credit for that.
That was, I'll give you that. But we ended up doing a small cruise around the Caribbean for 8 days, and then we spent like another 8 days in Barbados.
Cruises are great. The only thing about cruises, you have to starve yourself for 2 weeks prior because when you get on, you're going to gain at least 5 pounds.
I gained 12 pounds on the honeymoon. 12 pounds.
How?
We met a lovely couple on the cruise. And
12? Bro, how many days?
12. I think it was like 16 days we were away. Yeah.
0.8?
But he taught me that, and this was a James Beard Foundation cruise.
Okay.
So this was.
What is that?
So James Beard is an award they give to.
You know who that is?
No way.
Okay. All right, I didn't
So
know.
it's a prestigious award they give to top chefs in the country.
Nice.
I don't know if it's country.
Oh, so you like cook. You like to cook.
Listen, I'm not a James Beard chef at all. But no, I do enjoy cooking.
What's your specialty?
I'm a big tacos guy.
So
I'm always chicken, some sort of like fajita kind of mix.
All right, your wife. Let's paint a picture here. Your wife is pissed. Like you did some shit that you should not have done.
Yeah.
Nothing like criminal, right?
Yeah.
But she's pissed.
Okay.
You got to cook for her.
For her.
You have to cook for her to make it all go away. What are you cooking?
For her, it's usually like some sort of like a steak with like a side of like some sort of indulgent mac and cheese or something like that, which she'll probably eat like 2 bites of, and then I'll eat the other 1.5 pounds that I made.
I like her already. All right, keep going. So
Yeah. But yeah, so we kind of wrapping up the honeymoon and we're about to leave, and I remember having what I thought would be my last drink in the pool, and I was like, I don't want to go back. I really feel kind of tied to my desk. I don't love it anymore. And she, my wife's name is Jillian, and she fully supports me in everything that I do. And she was like, why don't you do real estate? You've been talking about it for like 3 or 4 years now. And we got back, and I kind of reached out to a couple contacts, and here we are. I'm sitting here with you fine gentlemen talking about this now.
So you got into, so why commercial and not, so I get it. So yeah, so you were the emotional side of it. You're like, oh, you were in finance, you go into commercial. Great. So now you're in commercial.
Yep.
What's the training like? Were you with Compass when you first got into commercial?
No. We just moved. So I have a residential team, the Vanderbilt team, with my partner Ken Markgraf.
Okay.
We have 16 agents.
Okay.
We moved that team there in March. We actually had our second child March 1st. She was 3 weeks early.
Mazel tov.
So we were supposed to be signing on like the 7th or 8th or whatever. And
There's
I
a
was
big
like,
difference between 2 kids and 1 kid, isn't it?
it's not even close, because when you have one kid and the one kid goes to sleep,
You outnumber the kids.
it's fine though. One kid sleeping is fine.
Yeah.
When you have 2 kids, one of them is always awake. So you're constantly on. You're always you're the clown of the circus all the time.
You seem like, I was going to comment before, like, so obviously you're an overachiever, which makes sense, top 20 under 40 thing, right? So you're double major, 2 different real estate fields, interning, just obviously you're like a real go-getter based on what you're saying. You're very calm though, bro. Like usually people that are like that are wound the fuck up. Like I am wound the fuck up.
Yeah,
Justin Soriano was in here
sometimes.
just like 2 minutes ago, like boom, like going at it, wound up. You're like,
I think it's the lack of sleep with 2 children.
Oh, that's what it is?
That's why. I think if we did this 5-6 months ago,
yeah.
you'd be like, man, you're 100 miles an hour like a hummingbird all the time. But I think it's even like last night, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning today. So because Binky went missing. So
The Binky went missing at 4 a.m.
Binky went missing, and I was on Binky search.
You know what just changed my life recently? Morning workouts.
Oh,
I was never that guy, dude. I hated it. I was like, nah, evening workouts, I don't want to get up early. Morning workouts changed my life.
Yeah, I'm with you. I used to be a very regimented. I had a 6 p.m. session every day for years. And then we had kid number 1, and it became the morning. I was doing either Peloton, rowing, or weights.
All right, big thing. Who's your Peloton person? I have one person I never cheat on her ever. Who do you got?
You have one that you never cheat on?
Yeah, like I have one Peloton lady that I ride to.
Is it Kendall?
No, I'll give you 3 yeses.
You never cheat on Allie Love?
Give you 3 yeses. Got to say all 3 of them. I'll tell you if it's one of them.
Jess King?
Robin.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
She's got the fire. The rest of them don't.
No,
do, like
she is.
the rest of them
She's
don't
good.
get me going.
I like Alex.
Oh, he's like everybody loves that guy.
But you know what it is? He's obviously doing it on purpose, but like he is so casually motivational at 5:30 in the morning. You're like, all right, this guy's, I feel good. I could take this.
Everybody
down.
says that he doesn't do it for me. Like, I don't know, Robin's like yelling and this and that. I need someone to yell at me. I don't know if it's a childhood thing or what.
You want to talk about that? Let's break
My
this
dad
down.
was a yeller.
We'll unpack this.
Yeah, my dad was a yeller, so maybe this makes sense now. Yeah. Greg's like, was? Yeah. He's been better lately. Right? No? Yeah, all right, debatable. So maybe it's all like, we're unpacking it here. So commercial real estate. You're in commercial real estate.
Yep. Yeah. Warehouses, retail.
Well, at the
offices.
time when you first got into it.
Yep.
Oh, that's you doing the same thing? Warehouse, retail, office?
Yeah. Well, it's
obviously
funny.
warehouse has gone here, office has gone here.
Yeah. You try and say that you're going to specialize in one thing. For me, anyway, this is how it kind of rolled out. I thought I was going to specialize in strictly industrial, and then all of a sudden I had a bunch of office leads in my face, and you do the office deals, and I'm pretty proficient at this.
See,
Let's keep it going.
this is what my thing with commercial, right? Commercial agents. It's like 30,000, 38,000, 28,000 residential agents on Long Island. It's like 300 commercial agents, right?
Yep.
And like 30 of them do business.
Yeah.
So such an amazing opportunity if you want to get into that, right? Obviously
Yeah,
tougher
some of them
because
do
the
some
lead
big-
times are longer and it takes a year to get a paycheck when you first get into it. It's very hard. It's hard. Or at least 6 months in most cases. Not everybody, but most cases.
I have 2 deals right now. One closed yesterday. One's closing tomorrow.
When did you get on the contract?
Oh my God. We're 2.5 years in the making.
Fucking A, right? It's not easy. It is
Yeah.
not fucking easy.
No.
So,
There's always hurdles that you wouldn't even think of.
dude, commercial is banana town.
Yeah.
Like absolute banana town. Like I'm doing a bunch of commercial deals, banana town. You have to be extremely patient. Everything fucking takes forever. It is so expensive. You hemorrhage money out every hole in your body, and then hopefully it comes together. But it's just and everything's hurry up and wait.
Oh yeah.
It is, dude, nightmare. zoning, people screaming at you. Dude, I have been screamed at in a synagogue by 200 people. Like I was freaking selling kids into sex slavery, like trying to do a zoning change for an assisted living facility. Like it is not easy.
Did you just buy, did you buy a gas station? Did I see that?
Yeah.
What's the situation there?
I'm going to turn it into, so I bought a gas station, got a 4,000 square foot building on it.
Okay.
Very cool. I mean, it's a piece of shit, but it's very cool. Like the bones of it are cool. It had an environmental issue, so I cleaned that up.
Which is fun.
It actually wasn't that bad. I negotiated into the price, so the seller had to pay for it, which was cool.
Okay.
So we held the money in escrow, and they did it now. They found, I knew there was tanks there.
How many?
There was 4 3,000-gallon tanks in the ground.
One of the first deals I did, we're doing the phase 1, and they're like, yeah, everything looks good. Bring it back on the truck. And you know when they use like it looks like the
lawnmower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're using that, and the guy he's going back and forth. He's like, I got something here. And he sprays it, and then he takes it this way, goes like 6 or 7 feet, sprays it. He starts walking, he keeps walking, goes like 20, 25 feet, sprays it, goes back.
What the fuck is that, dude?
10,000 gallon buried tank that no one knew was there.
That shit
Nothing.
exists?
It looked like a submarine. They couldn't even get it out. They had to cut it, fill it.
I can't even, oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it was thick. Like if you were able to get it out and throw it in the bay and put a little periscope in it.
Submarine.
So
So my situation, like I almost got really screwed with this because now my mother worked for the health department for 25 years.
Okay.
So when I did the research on this, I said, listen, let's pull this stuff, whatever. I went and spoke to the engineers, and they're like, there's tanks in the ground. Like we have record of tanks in the ground being filled, but there's fucking tanks in the ground.
Yeah.
I had 3 environmental companies come with the lawnmower. I don't know what the hell that thing is called, so I call it the lawnmower.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The thing, boom, 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 boom.
So
Nobody could find this thing. Nobody could find this thing. I'm like, we're keeping money in escrow. There was like some spillage stuff, like drains, whatever.
Yep.
And lo and behold, they found them. 4 3,000-gallon tanks. Pulled those out of the ground.
Wow. But they pulled them out. They didn't.
No, they pulled them out.
Okay.
They were already chopped up. Like they looked like somebody threw dynamite in them, and like they were twisted and gnarled and cut up. I'm like, bro, why would you guys just take this shit out?
Yeah.
More work to cut it up, fill it, and stick
Yeah.
it back in the ground. So I actually had a deal with Roy Rogers, and we had contracts out, we had the lease out, negotiated, and corporate pulled the plug at the last minute because they wanted more parking because they thought it was going to be the first Roy Rogers back on Long Island.
Yeah.
So they're like, yo, the demand is going to be so crazy that we want like double the parking. I'm like, bro, you guys need like,
How much parking does it have?
it had like 30 spaces.
Oh my God.
They wanted like 60 or something. Like they needed, the site was like over a half acre. They needed like an acre site. It's like, bro, where are you getting an acre? It's fucking Nassau.
Did they have like? Okay, but do you remember what the criteria was for necessary frontage on like the main thorough?
No, we didn't go through that because like they saw the site, they liked it,
And they were fine.
they approved it.
Okay.
The franchisee was totally into it.
Yeah.
You know, traffic count was good. It wasn't Sunrise Highway, but it was like a good. It wasn't an A location, but it was like a solid B location.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. I mean, corners, parkways. I was like, this is awesome, Roy Rogers, and then we lost it. And now I have another client. I don't want to jinx it, so I don't want to say it yet, but very, very
don't.
different.
Keep it tight.
This is good. Triple net setup. I know.
It's the dream.
But the thing about commercial is you really have to like believe in the site.
Yeah.
You have to believe in the site. Like luckily, I was able to
100%.
put this thing and lock it up under contract in a subject to deal for like 3 years.
I was gonna say, how long have you been on this?
Bro, I was on this thing probably like since before COVID, so like 2019. So I was on this thing in 2019. I just closed on it like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So I had this thing wrapped up in the contract for like 3 years. So I got all the DEC approvals, my permit approvals, the whole 9. And then I was like, okay,
Wow. Good for you.
that's the way I do it.
Good for
Bro,
you.
you have to. You have to. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, it's crazy. Imagine I was sitting there through COVID carrying this thing. Like, it would have been a nightmare. Taxes are $50,000 a year. It sucks.
Oh my God.
So, but you have to believe in the site. And I'm like, I believe in the site. I'm like, the numbers work. Ready, fire, aim. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And knock on wood,
I
if
like
this
that.
one comes through, and we pretty much have most of the approval already, if this comes through, oh boy, that's not going to be a good call. this will be very good and it'll make it all worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I've gotten my ass kicked in commercial too. Like in subject to deals, I've gotten my ass kicked and lost. Like that synagogue assisted living facility deal, I got the shit beat out of me.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
In the just the approvals. I didn't buy the thing.
Yep.
Just the approvals,
Just
the
to
zoning.
find out you can do what you think you want to do with the property, it could cost it's deeper pockets than most people have.
Just to find out they're like absolutely not. And I got screamed at.
To find out that no way in hell. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, no shot.
It was a great character builder. Like you wanted to like pressure, extreme pressure creates character and opportunity, right?
Yep.
I love that. So every time I'm like getting the hell beat out of me, I'm like, all right, something good's gonna come from this. I'm gonna grow as a person, or like on the other end of this is some kind of like rainbow because like I can't be beat up this bad for this long and not have something good happen.
Exactly. The universe has to take care of you.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I'm hoping after this one I'm going through now, I'll sprout some hair like that. Fuck, look at that thing.
It's luscious.
Lush, right? Right?
Yeah.
Woo!
That's
Everybody appreciates that
that's
thing.
25-year-old hair. That's what that
Something
is.
tells me he's gonna have that forever. Your dad's hair looks like that too, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, that's good.
That's solid genetic hair. So why would you gut? So you're in commercial, you're doing a thing. Why residential? I have a guess.
Okay.
Way shorter fucking sales cycle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you get a good mixture of both. You get like big hits coming every couple years, or like every couple years, and then you get like the fill-ins, which is
yeah,
like
you have
houses.
singles and doubles
Yeah.
with you know what I mean. But then sometimes you have a big commercial hit that comes in, and it's a nice one. But the residential team is actually a close friend of mine for 20 years, and
Who's
his
it?
name's Kent Markgraf. He's my so we have the Vanderbilt team at Compass, 16 agents, and we're partners there, co-team leads, and he's also a Suffolk cop.
Okay.
He's also a former real estate attorney, so still has his bar.
Nice.
And so to me, almost like the most obvious perfect choice for a partner, really, when you think about it. We have him. We have two other attorneys on the team that both do.
No shit.
Yeah, we have two other attorneys on the team that both do real estate law. We have an MBA, an engineer.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have a pretty solid team, and all the other guys on the team, most of them are cops. Oh, excuse me, the other people on the team, not strictly male. So we have a cop-heavy team: Suffolk, Nassau, MTA.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's.
You were never a cop, right?
I was never a cop.
Okay.
No, I'm just surrounded by them for real estate. But they really do have such a good sphere.
They have a good network, very organized, very good work ethic. Yeah, I mean, Chris White was on. Very impressive, man. Nassau County Police Officer.
Yep.
Very impressive in everything he does. A lot of good things to learn from him on that podcast. So, you and I have been jabbering on for like 30 minutes already, which is crazy.
Jesus.
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you with the stuff so we don't run out of time. So, big thing, right?
Yep.
All right, here's one. If you're a residential agent who wants to learn about commercial and get into it, what is your suggestion on how they go about doing that? Because I feel like the training in commercial sucks even worse than residential. And you really have to know your shit. Like, when you're in residential, it's emotional. You bring someone to a house, you're working hard, you're diligent, whatever, it's an emotional decision. When you're commercial, totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
Cap rates, all different kinds of things. Price per square foot, TI, etc.
Yep.
It's a big difference. It's a totally different world. So what do you recommend for residential agents that are looking to transition into commercial?
You have to understand that I don't suggest doing both. It's not easy. You can't be, you could be very good at both. You can't be great at both. You're not going to see me personally doing 70 homes a year because I'm also doing the commercial.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is you have to work with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you're really serious about making that transition, and you think somebody that, oh yeah, we're kind of bringing people on our team. When you go to meet that person, you're interviewing them as well as them interviewing you. Like, you need to know that they know what they're doing, that any question you're going to have, they should have that answer for you. That's for commercial, it's super important that you surround yourself with people who know the ins and outs of whatever you're going to be transacting in, whether it's office, retail, land, industrial, it's multifamily. You really need to make sure that whoever is going to be teaching you, they know their stuff. Because you could be in deep water, and we're not talking about a $300,000 condo here.
No, we're talking about millions of dollars.
Yeah, so it, you know.
This is what I was going to say before. Actually, thank you for bringing me back. So commercial agents, like I would meet a lot of commercial agents. Like I'm the office guy. I'm the the retail guy. I'm this guy. I'm like, dude, you got to be the Long Island guy. Just the Long Island guy, because to your point, you never know what's going to happen. Like office is great, retail is great. The world changes. COVID hits. All of it goes to shit.
Yep.
Industrial takes off like a fucking rocket.
Yeah.
So if you were an industrial guy, you're like, yay! But if you were an
Yeah.
office guy, you're like,
riding that
fuck!
rocket.
But if you become familiar as a commercial agent with all asset classes, and there's not that many asset classes, right?
No.
Then you are the Long Island guy or girl when it comes to commercial, period, for anybody.
Yeah, I think it's important to definitely be a jack of all trades, especially.
And it's not, I mean, it's complicated, but it's not that complicated where you can't understand it. Where you can't understand, what the rules are in pricing for office versus retail versus industrial.
I think, kind of back to what I was saying, that it is so important to have the people, whether it's on your team or within your company, that when you do, let's just say someone comes to me and they specifically want something that I don't typically deal in, I know somebody else that I work with is going to be able to help me with it.
Of course.
Because like I said, it's, the stakes are higher. So you don't want to be the reason that however many $1 million deal falls apart because you didn't know that you were supposed to do something.
So how's we don't have to get specifically, but obviously if you're top 20 under 40, in my opinion, what is the most competitive, well, I think it is the most competitive year so far. Most applicants, highest GCI, all that stuff. How are you selling so many houses, bro? Where are they coming from? Tell the people what they need to know.
It's a lot of, and everyone says the same thing. This whole thing is a relationship industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's who you know and who they know. So friends, family, believe it or not, this is going to be super unpopular. I've had a ton of success with Zillow.
Let me tell you something, dude. I am a supporter of that. No
Listen,
one's in here. They can't throw anything at us. But Zillow, if the phone rings, it doesn't matter, right? So whatever gets the phone to ring.
Yeah.
And I think Zillow is a huge untapped resource because I've been in the company of people getting Zillow calls, getting Zillow leads, and just like, I'm like, bro,
No.
on the other end of that call is such opportunity. You have
Yeah.
no idea. And dude, you take the call, they want to see a house, you line up 4 other houses in the same area, bring them to all of them. Just do
your
it
job.
all.
It's your job.
Exactly.
They want to see a house, go show them the house.
And they realize like, oh, this person's got it together. They know, they have other options to me. They took their time out, boom, boom. You lock these people up. I don't care what you have to pay Zillow.
I hope I'm not telling other agents to go and lock up all the Zillow territory around me.
It's expensive. It costs money.
Yeah.
But it works.
As long as you pick up and you're proficient, I want to see this house on Wednesday. Get out there on Wednesday, or get someone else to go there on Wednesday.
So everybody on the podcast has their shtick, meaning they do this one thing really well, whether it's cold calling or someone was on this morning. She gets 90% of her business off Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah. I fell off my chair. She's 90% of her business. No advertising, just her posting.
Can I pay her to post
And people
for me?
people are like, hey, I want to buy. A lot of buyers, and they're like, I want to buy with you. You look great. You look you really look like you know what you're doing, and we love who you are, and blah, blah, blah. My husband and I are looking for a house. A lot of that shit. I mean, super powerful. I get calls every day off of social media.
Yeah, I believe it.
Every day. What else was there? People start charities, and they do all kinds of benefits, so everybody has their way of bringing in business.
We have one September 12th, Salt Shack.
Oh yeah.
We're
Soul
part
Shack?
of, it's
Soul Shack in Seaford?
no, Cedar Beach down in Babylon.
Oh, okay. Good spot. What is it?
Send
me the info on that.
Yeah, well, it's Brotherhood for the Fallen.
Okay.
They basically, what happens if a cop is killed in the line of duty, they send officers there and present the families with a monetary donation to help them in the initial time. Like I said, half of my team is cops. I have family members that are cops, so it's kind of
That's a good spot.
Yeah, we partnered with them 2 years ago.
I'm into it. Let me know.
Yeah.
Where the hell was I going with this?
I mean, we're on a
We're all
merry-go-round at this point.
Don't you feel like he would be I feel like you are a I would vote for you, dude.
Thank you. I'll let you know when I'm running for something.
Are you thinking about it?
I'll bring you in.
I don't
1 and 2 on the ballot.
I'm pretty squeaky. Yeah, I'm squeaky.
Yeah.
I'm pretty squeaky
I
clean.
think you do well.
Yeah. I'm good. I know, I was going to say something. What were we talking about? Oh, Zillow. Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me back. Is that where the majority of your business is coming from, you think?
Well, what happens with Zillow is you get to double dip on a lot of it because they're calling to buy a house, and then you meet them, they like you.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I don't need to sell it to buy this, but I want to sell it, so can you sell my house for me? But what happened, back in the dentist chair, but you know what it is that, and I joke about it, but like Zillow, it more so than most other, sources, it really like gets your juices flowing in terms of like, you're like speed dating with people. You get a phone call, you have 2 minutes to make them want to, like come and meet you and hang out with you. And then when you meet them, it's like, hi, how are you? It's so nice to meet you. And
that's really cool.
And they either want to hang out with you again,
you either seal
or
the,
they don't.
Yeah.
And the date was terrible. And you're like, oh, I just waited 50.
What's your percentage of terrible dates versus good dates on Zillow?
I have a pretty high percentage of good dates.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got a smooth voice. You're very calming.
All right, thank you.
You could like put somebody in like a trance, but like in a good way.
I'm going to call you at night. Hey,
You're like,
Charles, it's bedtime.
you could do one of those ASMR videos, or like if this doesn't work, 1-900 numbers. There's like
That's
definitely
it.
some lonely lady
That's
in like
all I'm gonna
Ohio
do.
or something
Yep.
for $9.99 a minute who would love to talk to your
Yeah,
ass.
just put the headset on and I'm done with real estate.
Is that not appropriate?
We could edit that out, right?
No, we don't edit anything out.
Oh, good.
All right, so to close it out, because I actually have to jump on a podcast in 2 minutes. Important things. Top 20 under 40 people. If somebody's not a top 20 under 40 and they want to be, and they're in the business 1, 2, 3, 10 years, and they're under 40, obviously, what's your advice for them?
Basically, just pick up your phone anytime it rings. Anytime anyone's looking. But you have to make sure everybody knows you're doing real estate.
That is something that a commercial broker would say, because none of them pick up their goddamn phone.
Oh, I know.
Or call back.
Yeah.
98% of the battle is just picking up the goddamn phone or calling it back. True?
That's fair.
True story.
Well, you know what it is, too, though? In all of our defenses, people drive by a sign of mine and they'll be like, yeah, I want to call about this. And they'll call and they'll be like, oh, is there any space available? Like, yeah, we have, at this particular location, we have, 3,000 square feet. Like, oh, no, I need 10,000. I'm like, okay, well, we don't have any there. He's like, well, when are you going to get it? It's like, what just happened? What are we talking about here? Like,
When is the 3,000 going to turn into 10,000?
When does the 3,000 multiply to 10,000?
It's still an opportunity, though. My thing is, like, if the phone rings, it's an opportunity. I mean, you might talk to,
Well, it still is, because now you can pivot them to a 10,000 you may or may not have in the area.
There you go.
So,
Second question.
yep.
What's the future hold, dude? You're young. You got 2 kids. I don't know how you're doing it. God bless you.
I'm hoping my future holds some sleep. I'm really looking into real estate investing. So,
Nice. What, in the commercial or the residential space? Or both?
Both, definitely both. I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming up in the next
Fucking
let's
A.
call it 2 years, 3 years.
Always is.
So, just create a war chest and be ready for that.
I love it. Obviously, I'm here for you if you ever need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Lorenzo, absolute pleasure. If people are looking to buy or sell residential or commercial or lease it up, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
Instagram, Rob Lorenzo, RE. Phone number? Do we do phone number?
If you want.
Yeah, phone number.
No rules. No rules on the hands of Paul.
You could write me a letter, send a carrier pigeon. Phone number is 631-517-0055.
I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. Captain Permit, 516-513-8838. Sal's the fucking man. You know it. Cardinal Financial. That's a wrap. We're out.
Perfect. Yeah, that's